more like slavery.
It is.
Calling it extreme poverty, I think, is not quite accurate.
Come on, how can a man be so right? Check out this Africa React to see why Joe Rogan is 100% right. Welcome to Tunacheki's Africa React. I'm your host, Mikey Mushi, and this is a show where we go online and react to viral videos concerning Africans and the Africa continent. Today's video, we will be again reacting to Joe Rogan podcast, where he talks about the most important matter affecting the African continent currently. Okay, so please just without further ado, let him talk. I'll rarely interrupt or even not interrupt at all, because it's very important for everybody watching this video to understand what he's saying. Okay, him and his guest are saying. But before we start, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It's the best way to show YouTube this is an interesting video, and it will recommend it to like-minded people like you. Okay, so without further ado, let's check out what Joe Rogan and his guest has to say about Africans being slaves.
The Congo is so incredible. It's like, God, what an insanely rich, resource-ridden place that's also a war zone.
And being absolutely raped and pillaged by, big corporations in the Western world for resources and minerals. And
I had Siddharth Kara on, who I think his book comes out. Does it come out next week? It comes out the end of January.
Okay.
But his book is all about cobalt mining in the Congo.
Interesting.
And it's horrifying.
I do want to read it. Yeah.
Horrifying. 19-year-old girls with babies on their back who are hand chipping cobalt out of the ground and then inhaling all these toxic fumes and powder, this dust, and then that is in your cell phone.
Right.
That's how the cobalt gets into your fucking cell phone.
That's at your Apple store.
Nuts.
It's the new blood diamond, right? It's the new, and it's funny because I feel like the whole blood diamond thing, and there's been lots of these things, but it all sort of went away because it got exposed. But I feel like no one's talking about the inhumane things that are taking place for our modern conveniences. It's one thing when it's a luxury, like a blood diamond, right? Or whatever. But when it's like, oh, well, I can't live without my iPhone, then it's like we're willing to turn a blind eye to it. It's like people choose not to accept it because it's part of their life.
Just think about how many people who consider themselves social justice warriors, and they do this complaining on a phone that's made by slaves.
Totally. Yeah.
So
they're literally tweeting or texting or whatever their complaints on a thing that is contributing to the thing they're complaining about.
They're contributing to the worst version of it in humanity right now.
Isn't it crazy?
It's really crazy. I mean, it's like literally human trafficking.
So in the book, does he actually go into the Congo and witness this? And
he took video footage. He came on. His story is so compelling.
I must listen to it.
It's so and he talks about it with such passion because he worked on this for years and years and risked his life to obtain footage and to get access and to go to these what they're supposedly ethical mines. And he's like, this is all horrible. It goes, all of it is tainted. All the cobalt that we have, all of it is at least in some part coming from these what they would call, I mean, it's basically just the most primitive version, people in flip-flops with hammers chipping it out of the ground.
What's extreme poverty?
Yes.
Right? And
it's more like slavery.
It is.
Calling it extreme poverty, I think, is not quite accurate enough. They call them artisanal mines, which is like hilarious because it's like
anytime you slap that word onto anything, it's fun. Right?
It's artisanal.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I think someone's making pottery somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. So you've heard it there. What those guys have talked about is 100% accurate. Okay, so let's just analyze what they've had to say, right? So he's practically called these artisanal miners in the DR Congo modern day slaves, which is 100% correct, right? He said that these companies know what is going on, right? So these allegations that Apple is saying, oh, our mines are 100% ethical and we obtain our cobalt that we use in our iPhones or Tesla or Microsoft, they are ethically obtained. It's absolutely a lie. And they all know this, right? We did a video on it last year and the other year, talking about how they've been sued. Apple was directly sued. Apple, Microsoft, Tesla were directly sued because they were using child labors in these mines of theirs, right? All these companies know what they're doing. They know they're engaging in modern day slavery, but because what we are talking about is money, they don't care. All these large corporations only care about money. They don't care about Africans. They don't care about you Americans. They don't care about people. They care about the bottom line, which is money, right? So Joe Rogan goes on to say we are part of the problem, right? Because phones are such a convenience, right? We cannot just boycott phones because these companies have us hooked. It's the only way of communicating these days, right? It's the only way of reaching out to friends and family. It's the only way of spreading knowledge, right? So how can we boycott the same thing that's enabling us to call these people out, right? So he said most of these social justice warriors are the ones who are complaining about things like climate change, but they know or they are part of the problem, right? Some of them, maybe honestly, they don't know where these things come from, how phones are made and how these things are obtained, or maybe they believe the propaganda and the lies the media and these corporations give them about how they're obtained, right? And the media is always part of it, right? So we did a video also about 2 years ago about how there was like a cave-in in a mine that killed 70 Congolese artisanal miners. That story wasn't in the news. It wasn't in the mainstream media because it's an inconvenient truth. Nobody wants to know their phones are made from child labor. Nobody wants to know their phones are made from blood, right? They talked about blood diamonds, how diamonds used to be gotten through war, through slavery, right? And now it's just transferred. The problem didn't go away. They just stopped doing it to diamonds and started doing it to cobalt because they realized cobalt is vastly more valuable than diamonds, right? If you think diamonds are fancy or expensive, get a hold of cobalt. Cobalt is $1 trillion industry, right? So these companies are $1 trillion companies. They don't care about you. Like, let me just give it to you straight. If you think a company is $1 trillion company like Apple, Google, Amazon, and they care about you, you are the dumbest person on this planet. They don't care about you. They care about money. You enable them to get money. That's why they sell to you, right? So why should you defend these companies or protect these companies or enable these companies, right? So we have a dilemma. Joe Rogan's poke fact is like, how can we complain using the things that are causing the pain, the suffering, the exploitation, right? So the solution is we have to hurt these companies' bottom line, right? Because that's when they start caring. If everybody protests and talks about it and cries, they don't care because they'll still be doing it through iPhones, right? But if people start boycotting these iPhones, like Apple loses $1 billion because people are no longer buying their devices and buying a competitor's devices who are actually not using this Cobalt, right? So that's the only way these companies will change, and that's the only way to solve this problem by, first of all, communicating the problem, right? Everybody needs to know that their phones are blood phones, right? That their computers are blood computers, that their fancy electric cars are blood electric cars. Like, you want to save the world from climate change? Why save the world if you're just murdering humans? What will you be saving the world for, right? We want to save this planet from climate change because for the next generation. So if you're murdering the next generation, what is it for? Selfish reasons, so that you're comfortable vlogging, using social media, using TikTok, using YouTube, right? Like, it really doesn't make sense. So we really have to start calling these people out, communicate, share this video to as many people as possible, share the Joe Rogan video to as many people as possible. We will link the book that they were talking about in the vlog in the description, so you can buy it and read it. Also articles concerning the DR Congo, and also the videos that we've done concerning this artisanal slave mines that Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Dell, Samsung get their raw materials from. And it's not just cobalt, lithium, coltan, all those, right? And all those are gotten from DR Congo. Joe Rogan put it, DR Congo is the most resourceful, blessed country ever, region ever. And as his host put it, it's being pillaged, it's being raped. These people have just spoken fact for the few minutes that they've talked, and it's our job to share what they have to say and spread it to as many people as possible, especially in the Western world, okay? So, with that said, this has been Africa React. Thank you for watching. We appreciate the super thanks. We appreciate our channel members. Like, you guys really help us out. We appreciate our Patreon members. We appreciate our Patreon donors. We appreciate our viewers. We appreciate our commenters. You guys really enable us to do what we're doing. Before we go, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video. So, with that said, this has been Mekimushi from Tunacheki, and always remember, Africa is watching.